Hello and welcome to the Holmes Politicast, your source of Allendale news, Michigan news. Um, that's all we do here. So, in a stunning turn of events, the GOP in Ottawa County has voted to censure 6 of their commissioners. I talked to Matt Fenske about the claim, and so we'll be talking about that. Michigan's largest newspaper is working for the governor, spending money to promote her ads. So the paper is spending money to promote the Democrat ad. Interesting. So that's not all the news is doing. They are also running hit pieces on Republican nominees left and right. We'll be looking at one of those. And then the news just can't seem to find anything to criticize Democrats for. It's interesting. We'll show you. Deep dive into Republicans. Can't find a thing to talk about with Democrats. And finally, ballots are pouring in just minutes after the Roe versus Wade ruling. Just an astonishing amount of ballots. So we'll be discussing all that and more today on the Holmes Politicast. All right, get on my scene changes here. So, first up, Daily Wire reports that Michigan's largest newspaper, oh, there's an ad. So, Michigan's largest newspaper runs social media ad featuring Governor Whitmer's re-election commercial. Interesting. So, the Detroit Free Press dedicated ad money to amplify its article about Michigan Democrat Governor Gretchen Whitmer's first television commercial, likely increasing the reach of the campaign spot and raising questions about the paper's objectivity in its gubernatorial election coverage. On social media feeds, the article was labeled "Sponsored," indicating that the Free Press was spending money to promote it, before it appeared to be taken down from the newspaper's meta ad library. The sponsored ad began running on Tuesday and was active until it disappeared Thursday afternoon after the Daily Wire reached out to the newspaper for comment. The last few years have been tough, but we're tougher at getting things done right now, Whitmer says in her 30-second commercial titled Family. Headlined Governor Gretchen Whitmer seeking a second 4-year term. Airs first TV campaign ad of 2020. The sponsored article on the ad was written by Lansing Bureau Chief Paul Egan. He describes how Whitmer, quote, highlights challenges she has faced and touts her administration's accomplishments in the area of child care and education. The article breaks down Whitmer's commercial, referencing her experience handling a full-time job and, quote, juggling a newborn while her mother battled cancer. The article also included comment from Republicans criticizing the Democratic governor. Gannett owns both the Free Press and USA Today. According to the Free Press, it adheres to USA Today's standard of, quote, maintaining independence. We will not support any political campaigns or causes through the display of bumper stickers, signs, pins, public/private donations, participation in demonstrations, petitions, or in social media posts, it writes in its code of conduct. The Free Press has not responded to the Daily Wire request for comment. This is quite a long article. Oh, not too much longer. We're almost done. So we continue. In 2018, the newspaper's editorial board endorsed Whitmer when she first ran for governor. Seems like going against their standard there. Whitmer, with her more sophisticated understanding of where Michigan needs to go and where the interests of its diverse residents coincide, is the candidate more likely to summon our state to its better angels. The Free Press wrote just a week before the 2018 gubernatorial election saw Whitmer defeat GOP opponent Bill Schuette by nearly 10 points. After almost 4 years of pushing leftist policy and controversy surrounding her COVID lockdowns and nursing home scandal, Whitmer is still favored to win re-election and retain the governor's mansion for Democrats. However, her bid faces a Republican Party threatening a red tsunami across the country in the midterm elections. The Republican gubernatorial race has been heating up as 5 candidates jockey for a chance to face off against the governor. The most recent polling shows former businesswoman and political commentator Tudor Dixon leading the field of GOP candidates by 11 points with 26% support. Ryan Kelly, who is set to face trial in the coming months for misdemeanor charges related to his presence at the January 6th Capitol riot, came in second. In the same MIRS Mitchell research poll at 15%, businessman Kevin Rinke and chiropractor Garrett Soldano were tied for third at 13%, while pastor Ralph Rembrandt came in last at 1%. So there's how the race is breaking down. Whitmer's leading, and she's doing so with the help of the newspaper. Now, this kind of gets to one of my reasons for existence. By the way, if you like the content, subscribe, like the video, share it with your friends. So I exist because you know where I stand. I'm a conservative, but I try to do the news objectively. I try to ask questions of all our candidates. In fact, I've been not attacking, but I have been accosting some of our officials with questions that I want answered, that the community wants answered, and I hope that's been helpful to people. I know it has been helpful to some people. So I'm going to keep on doing it. And if you like the content that I'm putting out, all you got to do is subscribe for more. So this is really not surprising to me. I've been pointing out the media's left-wing bias for 2 years now. Over 2 years now. Wow, jeez. Started this podcast in January of 2020, so almost 3 years I've been pointing out media bias towards the left wing in the news. I've been pointing out how they'll promote Democrat ideas and they'll attack Republican ideas as racist, bigoted, homophobic, xenophobic, whatever phobic word they want to use. So, but the fact that they're coming out and spending their own money and they got caught doing so is kind of funny. I think they're really showing their hand here. So again, not surprised. I'm not shocked by this in any way. But it's just another reason for you to not trust our state media. Our state media has an agenda. They have a political party that they're focusing on. And also, they're not giving you interviews for your local politicians. They're not giving you interviews with your local politicians. I'm trying to do that. So that's where we're at with Ottawa County in Michigan. Our trust in our media is not the greatest. I've gone door to door and I've talked to people. They're not necessarily in favor of our media. So, yeah, that's good stuff. So, I think we need to get to the title of my program for today next. The Ottawa County Board of Commissioners has been censured by the Ottawa GOP. Now, what does censured mean? You know what? Let's bring up the definition. So, this was a question my wife had for me yesterday. What the heck does censured mean? And I basically told her, well, it's bad. It's not good. So, censured, express severe disapproval of someone or something, especially in a formal statement. So, that is the dictionary definition of the word censure. So, the GOP, Ottawa County GOP, has censured 6 of the candidates. I should have had this brought up. So, right now, I'm just kind of stalling for time as I bring this up. I know 2 of the people that I've talked to already on the Board of Commissioners are on that list. Both Matt Fenske and Greg DeYoung, my own county commissioner. Also, one that I'm going to be talking to, Randy Meppelink. So I'm going to see if I can find this real quick. I could find it on my phone a lot easier. I don't know where the search is on the. Wow, I sound old. I don't know how to use this darn technology. Let's see. Where the heck is their search? Oh, it's right here. It's right in front of me. My apologies, people. There it is. Okay. I will have this up for you in just 2 seconds. I have found the page that I'm looking for. It's only the title of my show, and I failed to have the article up. Okay, so Holland, Michigan. So, saying several sitting members of Ottawa County Board of Commissioners have been publicly embracing Democrat interference in the Republican primaries. The County Republican Party Executive Committee has voted to censure 6 candidates for the board. The vote against Matt Fenske, Roger Bergman, Al Dannenberg, Greg DeYoung, Randy Meppelink, and Phil Kyers came Thursday evening. In a press release issued Friday, the Ottawa County Republican Party said many of those same commissioners who were endorsed by 2 political groups with apparent ties to George Soros. The stated goal of those groups is to elect the most liberal person on the ballot in races where a Democrat does not have a chance to win. Keith Den Hollander, the interim chairman of the Ottawa GOP, said Republicans, not Democrats, should choose the Republican nominee. While we welcome individuals who are abandoning the Democrat Party because of the failed agendas of Joe Biden and Gretchen Whitmer, those who seek to cause mischief and play political games are not welcome. Our primary process needs to be protected. I'm glad this motion passed overwhelmingly. So, I reported, or rather, Jerry McCaleb reported last week that this was happening. You can go down Washington Street in Grand Haven, and there is a certain thrift store on the east side of Washington, about 2 blocks down, where you will find a picture of, or where you will find 2 signs. One for Roger Bergman, who is running in Grand Haven, and the other for a Democrat that is running for the 88th District candidacy in it's the House. Yes, the House. So the other one is, let me make sure that I've got my information right. I had a friend that sent this to me. Christine Baker. So Roger Bergman and Christine Baker right next to each other. It seems that we have had Republicans campaigning to the Democrats, saying vote in our primary. And now we have confirmation from the from the Ottawa County GOP. And now I've kind of been reporting on these county commissioners. I'm not the first one to notice that they're liberal, though. Ottawa Impact noticed a lot sooner. There have been other people in our community that have noticed a lot sooner, most of them now affiliated with Ottawa Impact. I have reported on their kind of their left leaningness. I don't necessarily think they're left wing, but they are the most far left candidates on the board or on the ballot, it seems to me. So now we have the Ottawa County Republicans saying the exact same thing. They've censured these 6 candidates. I talked to Matt Fenske yesterday, and he said he just goes door to door. He doesn't care if it's Republican, Democrat. He's just trying to gain votes. So I talked with him about that. He seemed very surprised about the censure. He did not know about it. So we'll see how that all develops. I'm going to be talking to Keith Den Hollander. I'm going to do my best to get an interview with him. And I'm going to try and find out what exactly all of these people, what the evidence is. So we've got some from Roger Bergman. We've got a sign next to another sign in an establishment showing that he is appealing to Democrats. So we'll see. I think I agree with this. I agree with Jerry McCaleb on this. I agree with the Ottawa County GOP on this. If we have Republicans that are running to the left and trying to garner Democrat support as they run to the left and create things like Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion's office, as they say that our county is not welcoming enough or diverse enough, I think we should have Republicans choosing who's going to be on the ballot. We should not have Democrats skewing that process. So awesome for the Ottawa County GOP. We appreciate their input into this race. And I'm going to be doing my best to get a hold of Greg DeYoung because he's my own county commissioner. And so I want to talk to him about, so what is this? What are you trying to get Democrats to vote in the primary for you? So, we'll see about that. Next, after about 5 minutes of Roe versus Wade being gone, we've got about 100,000 ballots. Not even 100. No, way more than 100,000. It's let's see. Look at all those ballots. It's got to be hundreds of thousands of ballots. Boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes. It keeps going, people. And boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes. That might be the end. Oh, no, more boxes. More boxes. Wow. That's... So, Roe v. Wade has been overturned for a total of 4 weeks now. And they've got that many ballot signatures. Maybe. I am sure, I'm positive, that our courts, that our clerks, that everybody is going to do as much as they possibly can to vet all of these signatures, make sure that they are all valid. I'm sure that our political process will make sure that they are not just going out and, getting a bunch of fake ballots, because they are so good at vetting the Republicans for their signatures. They're so good at doing that. So I'm sure we'll have a thorough investigation of how they've managed to get this many signatures in a month, less than a month. So I think, and I'm going to be totally transparent, I think it's possible that all those signatures are valid. The media gets people all riled up. They say, oh, women's reproductive rights are on the ballot. We need to protect women's reproductive rights. Well, it's not an act of reproduction to have an abortion. It's not reproductive rights. It's not reproductive health. It has nothing to do with reproduction. It actually ends a life that has already been produced. Reproduction happens at the moment of conception. You have reproduced. You have combined two DNAs, two genetic strands, to make a brand new genetic strand. If you took that fertilized egg out and you tested it, it would have its own set of DNA. That's scientifically what a human being is. It's a human being with its own set of DNA, its own You could tell if it was a boy or a girl. If you wanted to kill it, the fertilized egg is not the best thing to start running tests on. You want to make it, let it multiply a few times. But that is where we're at. It looks like in Michigan we may get Roe versus, or we may get abortion access codified into law. Now, that just means that nothing's changed here in Michigan. Our fight is still the same. We are still going to need to go out, hold prayer vigils outside of abortion clinics. We're going to need to be educating people on what abortion is exactly. And we're going to need to be continuing. Now, even if abortion is made illegal, we are still going to need to continue to support these mothers that have made poor decisions. We're going to need to show them the love of Christ, show them that we care about them, their baby, give them help. And my wife is an absolute hero on this. She works for a place called, and I'm not going to say that. She works for a pregnancy resource center, and they just do wonderful stuff. They help mothers that want to keep their babies to get supplies. They teach them. They actually enroll them in classes. Like, it's not just like you come and get supplies. You have to enroll in classes. You have to learn. You have to grow. You have to make yourself better. And then we will give you help. We will give you all the resources that you can. But this place is just absolutely phenomenal. And a few of our elected officials want to shut places like that down, make them illegal. And that's not the point of the show, so we're not going to get into it. But the point is that this is what we're up against here in Michigan. These, if you can't see, I'm circling all these ballots, all them boxes and boxes. If you're not watching, if you're just listening for context, these boxes of ballots are not ballots. Petitions are not very big. It's just a couple pieces of paper stapled together. We have got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 3. So we got 15 boxes per skid. There was, I'm just gonna count again real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4. That may be 13 boxes, 12 boxes. 5 with 12 boxes. 6, 13 or 15. 7, 15. 8, 15. 9 with 15. 10 with 15. 11 with 15. 12 with 15. And then another pallet with about 8 more boxes. 6 more. No. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 12 more boxes. So, no. That's not going to be right. So 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 times 3. That's 45. So, all right. Every time I said 15, that's 45. 45 boxes per skid. I only went 2-dimensional. I should have gone 3-dimensional. That's my fault. So that's what we're up against. And these people have the media on their side, as we've already seen, as I've documented for you over and over and over and over on this show. The media is not on the right-wing side. The media want abortion to be legal. I don't know why. I think because they are so inundated with this idea that it is women's health to have an abortion. I think they really believe that it is a case of women's health. I really do. I don't think they just, I know they don't just want to murder babies. They really think that it is a case of, well, this is a woman's health, this is women's rights, and some of them really believe that women will die if there is not access to abortions. So that's how they get all these people flooding the streets, getting a petition together. And of course, it's all funded by Democrats. they've got the funds necessary to get out there and to print off all these petitions, make them legally valid, check them over with what do you call those, lawyers, make sure all the language is correct. So basically the point of this segment is the fight is still on. We're still fighting to protect children, to help women that have been that have made poor choices and are now find themselves pregnant without any help. So there's that. Next, the media can't find a darn thing to say about Democrats, but they can do a deep dive into Republicans candidates. So Republican candidates. So here we go. I'm not even going to read this article. It's 15 minutes if I were to read it, and that would chew up most of the time we have left. So I'll read a portion of it. And so as you can see, this article, I'm scrolling through it right now, is really long. I'm scrolling through it at a pretty decent clip. Still not to the end, about halfway through, and it's so long. So they do a segment on his home life, where he his anti-vaccine efforts, his defense of a Confederate soldier statue, his January 6th arrest. They've got pictures of him posting videos of his family on YouTube. They've got, my goodness, they've got just everything on this guy, right down to the underwear that he wears, right down to what he had for breakfast this morning, which was probably it was racist O's. Ryan Kelly just eats exclusively racist O's, according to this article. So we're going to get into this a little bit. Like I said, I'm not reading this whole thing. That would be ridiculous. But here we go, and then we'll discuss in just a minute. Ryan Kelly was in the Huron-Manistee National Forest, where his kids had delighted in the sound of a tree falling and sang in their car during a pizza run, when he recommended the experience to his viewers. Life is good when you're camping, he said in a fall 2020 YouTube video posted on his Kelly Crew channel, where he and his wife chronicle their lives while offering advice on parenting, homeschooling, sex, home makeovers, and more. Then Kelly walked into the woods and recorded a very different video for the American Patriot Council, which he had co-founded earlier in the year. He demanded authorities arrest and imprison Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer for emergency orders she had issued during the COVID-19 pandemic, and they've got that video here. We're not going to watch it because this takes up way too much time. I'm just going to assume it's super racist and super horrible. We need to start blowing up law enforcement across the nation, and we need to make a big deal out of this, Kelly said in the tense clip. No more lawsuits. No more thinking a court is going to handle this. These are criminals. So they obviously clipped that. You know what? Now we're going to have to watch it. We need to start blowing up law enforcement across the nation.
Gretchen Whitmer, Dana Nessels, and Jocelyn Benson are felons. They have committed federal
he was talking
felonies.
about actually taking a bomb and blowing up law enforcement.
Different.
So we'll
What's
find
up,
out.
American Patriots? This is Ryan Kelly, founding father of the American Patriot Council and co-host of the show Bamboozled. As on Bamboozled, we like to empower you with information to do your own research, critically think, and figure out all the details for yourself. You're on this page because we've now brought to the public that this is not something where you should be suing these felons. We should be forcing the Department of Justice to do their job and to arrest these criminals. Guys, check it out. On our watch, the American Patriot Council, we are not going to have the Constitution of the United States of America stepped on and distorted and perverted for the future generations. The mission of the American Patriot Council is to restore and sustain a constitutional government in the United States of America. I'm going to be real brief, then I want you to go and search this website so you can empower yourself with the information to know exactly why Gretchen Whitmer, Dana Nessels, and Jocelyn Benson are felons and should be arrested and put in prison. Go look at 18 USC 241 as depriving of rights. When Gretchen Whitmer made it illegal for people to gather in any size outside of your family in Michigan, that was a violation of the First Amendment, where you cannot take away the right of people to peacefully assemble. When you put the entire state on house arrest, that's depriving people of their 5th and their 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. Guys, these are crimes. 18 U.S.C. 241, depriving people of rights. They are federal felonies. That's a big deal. Stop thinking that lawsuits is the answer to this. These are crimes. They need to be brought to the Department of Justice and told to do their job and arrest these criminals. 18 U.S.C. 1001 makes it so that anyone in the executive, legislative,
So it seems
and
like
judicial
he's
branches
advocating for
cannot make
following
false
laws.
or fraudulent statements. You're going to see through this webpage here that there's multiple things that have happened. I'm just going to mention a couple of them. With Dana Nessel saying that it's the law that you have to wear masks. That's incorrect. It was an executive order. Congress makes the law, not the governor. So by stating that, that's a felony under 18 U.S.C. 1001.
That's true. That's
It's
something
a
that I've
fraudulent
said.
statement. Same thing with Gretchen. You're going to see a video on this page where she said the law of the land is you got to mask up. Actually, that was an executive order. That's not the law. Congress never made that law.
Yep.
Again, violation of 18 U.S.C. 1001. Guys, check out this website. I want you to go do your own research. We need to talk to the Department of Justice. You need to call your sheriff. You need to call the Michigan State Police. You need to call the county sheriff. Whatever it is, under 18 U.S.C. 4, you are you're obligated to let the authorities know if you know if someone has committed a felony. Gretchen Whitmer, Dana Nessels, and Jocelyn Benson have all committed felonies. We need to start blowing up law enforcement across this nation, and we need to make a big deal out of this. No more.
So yes, he specifically meant calling them. Now, if Bridge was fair at all to him, they would have used his quote that we need to start calling them. No, they go for we need to start blowing up law enforcement across the nation to make it sound like he's a radical, that he's calling for violence. And of course, that's specifically tailored. They watch this whole video. They know that he meant calling them obsessively until we get arrests. So this is why I exist, because you cannot trust these people. You cannot trust Bridge, Michigan. You cannot trust the Detroit Free Press sending out ad money for Gretchen Whitmer. They report things, but they report things in a very, very skewed way. They report it exactly how they want you to hear it. Blowing up these law enforcement across the nation. Okay? So, they continue. The videos highlight Kelly's public transition from a self-described YouTube entertainment personality to a firebrand who has already organized a massive anti-lockdown protest at the Michigan Capitol and invited armed militia members to serve as security. See, again, they go with as much blustering and as they make it as controversial as possible. So you can continue reading this. I'm not going to continue with this. They continue here for another 12, 13 minutes to make a big hullabaloo about him. And it's interesting that they can spend all this time watching these videos, picking through his personal life, picking through his YouTube videos. They can spend all this time doing all this, but they can't at all mention that Dana Nessel has said she wants a drag queen in every school. They can't do a deep dive into her and all the radical things that she said. What about Gretchen Whitmer? Where's all the radical things she said? She said a lot of radical things. She's had blocks that say 86-45. 86 is killing. 45 is Donald Trump. I don't make a huge deal out of that. I think it was just a stupid thing that she did. I don't think she was really trying to publicly call for the murder of Donald Trump because it wasn't obvious enough. Number one. Number two, I think it was just a stupid joke that that Democrats were doing, but it's these kinds of things, right? The media, if they had any honesty whatsoever, they would be making a big deal out of 86-45. They would, because they made a huge deal out of Brian Kelly saying we need to blow up law enforcement. This double standard with Republicans and Democrats. It's got to stop, and it's got to stop because we stopped listening to it. So, shameless plug for myself. Like that YouTube channel, subscribe to it, share it with friends. You're gonna get honest reporting from me. I am a conservative, but that doesn't mean I'm going to try to paint Democrats unfairly. That doesn't mean I'm going to try and paint left-wing Republicans unfairly. I have full interviews where you can watch the people that have been accused of left-wing rhetoric. You can go on there. You can see what they say. You can see if they use left-wing rhetoric, which I think a couple of them do. They've, Matt Fenske and Greg DeYoung, they do use left-wing rhetoric. They use left-wing talking points, and they say the same kind of things that you would hear out of the left wing. Are they left-wing? I don't think so. I don't think they are for Democrats. I don't think they are for the far left taking over Ottawa County. But I think they've been duped into believing some of these left-wing premises, like anti-racism and the fact that our community isn't, quote, welcoming enough. But there's the point, is you are not going to find a newspaper that is not biased. And if they say they're unbiased, they're lying to you. So I'm biased toward the right. I try and do my best to present everyone fairly, though, to let everybody's voice be heard on my show. And I'm starting right here in Ottawa County. Speaking of Ottawa County, a couple of things that weren't in my show notes. Grand Haven Area Public Schools School Board President plagiarized most of his resignation letter. So Restoring Ottawa is a Substack that has been writing about things that have been happening in Ottawa County. I just subscribe to their Substack. I suggest you do too, because they've written a lot of good things. I know one of the writers. I'm not going to say her name unless she comes on the show at some point. But I've been talking with her a lot, and she's been sending me articles and posting, different things. Apparently, there's few different writers. Some of them have put their names on it. Some of them have not, and I understand that. I go by Anon Don because I don't want a left winger to find out where I live and come burn my house down with me and my wife in it. So go and subscribe to the Restoring Ottawa Substack. They seem to be a pretty good source of news for what's happening in the public schools. So we have on September 2nd, 2021, John Simeon, the president. Yeah, I had to be careful with that one. The president of Grand Haven Area Public Schools Board of Education resigned after 22 years. His term was due to end in another 4 years. He wrote what appeared to be a heartfelt letter announcing his resignation that was forwarded to the community through an official GHAPS distribution. However, the words he used to paint a picture of harassment affecting his health were not even his own. In fact, they were plagiarized directly from a separate news article published just days before his resignation. A full letter can be seen below with plagiarized sentences highlighted. So where is it? So here it is. Many board members across the country are resigning out of fear of threats, harassment, the fact that they aren't paid for how they're treated, and because politics are being put ahead of children. School board members are unpaid and volunteering to do the work for free, and because they care about the students. A growing number of board members are resigning or questioning their willingness to serve as meetings have devolved into shouting contests between deeply political constituencies over how racial issues are taught, masks in schools, and COVID-19 vaccines and testing requirements. So, that's about a third of his letter. You can see it if you're not seeing this. If you're just listening to it, you can head over to my YouTube and see this letter. So somebody over at Restore Ottawa Substack noticed that looks kind of like a news article. So many board members are resigning out of fear of threats, harassment, and the fact that they aren't paid for how they're treated because they're putting politics ahead of their children. This sentence is taken word for word from the New York-based news site FingerLakes1.com. Staff report titled "School Board Members Are Quitting All Over the Country as Threats and Harassment Become Hostile" can be found here, and they've got the link for it. Another sentence: school board members are unpaid and volunteering to do the work, is also taken verbatim for the same article. They've got another one. A growing number of board members are resigning or questioning their willingness to serve. This was from the Associated Press. They have, again, the link to the article. So John Simeon is, he can be found. They've got a video of him, it looks like. John Simeon seems to have plagiarized some of his letter. Now, if he had instances of being harassed, I'd love to hear about him. In fact, I'm going to be reaching out to John Simeon. But I'm also going to be asking him if he encourages his students to plagiarize from other sources without giving credit to them. I'm going to be asking him, why would he take these words and not give any examples, right? If he has been threatened, harassed, anything like that, you would think there'd be examples. Now, I don't know how much I would trust what he says. If he wants to, I'm hoping that he directs me to a particular date for a school board that has devolved into just screaming matches. And we'll find out if this is what happens. But for right now, he has plagiarized a lot of his letter, and I think that Grand Haven Area Public Schools still discourages plagiarism in the classroom. So there is one other article from that same Substack that I'm just going to briefly cover because I believe I am almost out of time. So, two Grand Haven Area Public Schools partners, two GHAPS partners with the Anti-Racism Task Force. So this one's about people in GHAPS partnering with leftist political organizations disguised as community support centers to indoctrinate Grand Haven youth with anti-racism. That's lifted right from the article. So GHAPS has conflicts of interest. They actually give the board of policy that has been violated by this. They lay out their case. And this is why I subscribed, because I've been through a couple articles now, and they lay out their cases very well with citations of the policies that are being directly violated, and they do very well at their writing. So I want to just thank the Restore Ottawa people for their willingness to write all this stuff down, document it. I will be using it. And I will be following up on those things. I will be talking to the people that they cite, Miss Van Enk or Miss Jane Evink, Brian Wheeler, Superintendent Andy Ingall, all these people. They will be getting questions from me about what exactly they are doing with our children. So if you want to continue to follow what is happening here in Ottawa County, you may think the leftism isn't here, but my friends, it is, and we've got to be vigilant. We've got to be watching it. So subscribe to my YouTube. You get once a week update on what's going on here in Grand Haven, here in Ottawa County, here in Holland, in Allendale, in Jenison, in Georgetown Township. That's where I'm focusing all of my efforts. So like it, subscribe it, share it with a friend. I don't have a massive campaign ad, so you guys are my campaign ad. This is word of mouth. So I appreciate you guys so much for listening. Thank you again. That is all the time that we have for today. Again, I'm on Twitter a lot. I'm on the not a lot. I post to Twitter almost daily. So follow me on Twitter. I have a YouTube or a Facebook group where you won't be censored, where you can post information that you think other people want to see. I won't be taking down Republicans for their thoughts. So search for the Homes Politicast on Facebook. There is another group that I'm not really using at all. So it's Michigan Political Discussions. Let's see. I'm gonna bring that up real quick just to show you. So this is at the Homes Politicast. That's my profile, or whatever you want to call it. So I've got the groups. Where's the groups? Groups is Michigan Political Discussions. We got 2 members in there so far. One of them from Allendale. One of them is myself. So join this. Check it out. Come post a couple things, and yeah, keep yourself informed. And again, thank you so much for watching. And we will see you next week. I'm Anon Don, and this is the Homes Politicast.